What does it mean, together? Denis asked. He couldn't believe his ears. Anya was saying terrible things, things that he couldn't even imagine in his worst nightmare. Did he force you again? Is he making you do this against your will? Anya, tell me the truth. No, I did it myself, I swear, she replied. But it sounded unconvincing to Denis. He didn't believe a word she said. Just yesterday, she had confessed her feelings to him, said she was waiting. What could have changed overnight? Anya, my dear, my love, Denis said with worry and incredible tenderness in his voice. Tell me the truth. What happened? If he laid a finger on you, I'll crush him to dust. No. Anya burst into tears on the phone. She struggled to calm down, took a deep breath and said, Denis, I'm with him now. The baby will be born soon. Are you with him only because of the baby? Denis angrily punched the wall, remembering his initial plan that his mother had talked him out of. Anya, do you want me to be the father of your child? I'm ready for anything. Let's get married, Anya. Forget medical school. I'll apply to another one. Study by correspondence, work. Denis! Anya had to raise her voice to a scream to make him quiet. Silence hung on the line, then heavy breathing, followed by a cold, distant voice. You didn't understand me. I am with him, now. Her words practically nailed Denis to the wall. He felt weakness in his limbs, almost collapsing to the floor, but he managed to stay on his feet. But if Anya were here right now, he would have fallen to his knees without hesitation. Anya, please, don't leave me. Do you hear? I can't live without you, he pleaded. Forgive me, Denis. I'm sure everything will be fine for you. Goodbye. She hung up the call. Denis wasn't going to give up. He called her back and heard short rings. He called again and again, but the result was the same. Anya must have blocked his number. Sobolev! Denis! The storekeeper called out. She found him among the boxes and stood in a pose. Are you going to linger here? The truck has arrived. Who will unload? You! Denis pierced her with a dangerous look and rushed past like a hurricane. Hurriedly changing clothes, he headed towards the exit. What's going on? Came a voice from behind. Sobolev, you don't work here anymore. He didn't care. All Denis wanted was to see Anya, to hold her and never let her go, and to break the legs of that miserable man so he would never find his way to her home again. Mama Val! Denis shouted as soon as he entered the threshold. The woman was busy in the kitchen. An incredible aroma and the sounds of a TV show emanated from there. Lend me money for a ticket, I'll earn it back. For what ticket? Valentina peeked into his bedroom. Denis hastily packed the necessary travel essentials into a sports backpack. Clearly not for a movie, he muttered. A train ticket. Mama Val, I'm going back home. What? Home? You've come up with something. You have exams in the institute the day after tomorrow. To hell with it, with this institute. I'll apply to another one, study through correspondence, but I won't leave Anya alone anymore. Denis threw the backpack over his shoulder and stood still in front of Aunt Valia, who stood in the doorway, blocking his way. Will you give it to me or not? Are you willing to sacrifice your career for this girl? Think twice, son. You won't get another chance. You won't be able to stop me anyway. Don't even bother trying. I can't live peacefully knowing that this jerk is forcing Anya to stay with him. Denis squeezed past his aunt, whose jaw slowly dropped. Yes, anyone who dared stand in his way now was in for trouble. Denis ran out of the house without a penny to his name. On the way, he took off a golden chain from his neck and stuffed it into his pocket, trying to remember where the nearest pawn shop was. He managed to find one, just a couple of meters from the public transportation stop. After climbing a few steps, Denis grabbed the door handle and heard the ring. It was his mother. There was no need for surprise. Valentina had already warned her sister that her son had completely lost it. His mother's voice was surprisingly calm and gentle. Son, don't rush things, Elena Viktorovna said. Judging by her voice, she was forcing a smile as much as possible. Denis clenched the golden chain in his pocket, looking at the interior of the pawn shop through the glass door. You found someone to ruin your life for. God knows I didn't want to interfere. I was waiting for you to realize that this girl is deceiving you. What are you talking about, Mom? Oh, Elena Viktorovna sighed deeply. Just tell me already, Denis urged her. I saw your Anya yesterday with someone else. They were standing near her entrance, hugging. Shameless, she kept trying to kiss him. And when she saw me, she immediately looked away, eyes on the ground. Denis was stunned. His ears were ringing. He couldn't make out any more words, but gradually the situation formed a logical sequence in front of him. Anya had decided to confess everything after Mom saw her with someone else. How skillfully she pretended, how masterfully she lied. Denis, my son, I beg you, don't do anything stupid. You have exams coming up, you need to study. And maybe with time, everything will be forgotten, his mother pleaded. Denis slowly walked towards the house. His gaze dimmed, and inside everything suddenly cooled and darkened. and a bottomless hole formed in place of his heart. "Denis, calm down already, that's enough," Denis snapped at her, and with a detached voice he added before hanging up, "Send my things for the fall." His strength left him. As soon as Denis crossed the threshold of the house, he fell face down on the bed and lay there until evening. "Son," Valia sat down next to him, stroked her nephew's back to cheer him up. "Are you going to eat dinner?" "I don't want to." "Maybe I should make some broth for you." "No. How about some dumplings?" "No need." "What do you want then? Just leave me alone." As luck would have it, at that very moment, the phone rang, the one he had angrily thrown on the table. "Someone is calling you." Valentina picked it up and looked at the screen. "Some girl, Sonia." "Let her call back," Denis grumbled, not wanting to have anything to do with the clingy companion. "Well, that's a shame." Valentina twirled the phone in her hands and couldn't resist answering herself. "Hello?" Denis abruptly turned his head towards her. He thought she was playing a prank on him, but Valia continued in a sweet voice. "Sonny, hello, it's Aunt Denis. Denis? He's not far, I'll call him right now. Denis, you're wanted on the phone." Valentina's acting skills were excellent. She winked at her nephew, handing him the phone. Denis reluctantly rolled onto his back, twisted his displeased face, and dryly said into the receiver, "Hi,